So we're talking about procrastination. So even if in just my saying that, you get this twinge in your heart like, ooh, she's gonna go there. Oh, I don't like this. This is definitely gonna help you. I love the topic of productivity, and I love comparing myself to years ago to how I have been able to totally transform my ability to be productive. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, and I hope that I can share some things that will actually help you get everything done you want to get done. So before we get started though, first of all, if you're brand new to my live streams, I'm Dr. Edie Wadsworth. I am a physician, author, speaker, and life coach, and creator of a life mentoring school. I wanted to tell you my story of productivity. So I have always been like kind of an energetic, crazy go-getter. And I'm an Enneagram 3. I came into the world raring to go. But I also have had periods in my life, and I think about when I was in medical school specifically, where I would put things off and then work like crazy and get it done, but work like crazy to get it done, kind of like just slip in right before it's done. So how many of you are really good at doing that? You're going to get the thing done, but what you're going to do is you're going to make yourself pretty miserable for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then you're going to like crash course, be productive, and get the thing done and slide in just in the nick of time. If there's any college students on here, this is probably how you function. But a lot of us did not outgrow this just because we're now older. And I think what I'm going to share with you today of how I have been able to totally change this in my life. I won't say I never procrastinate, but I procrastinate way less than I ever have. I get more done in less time than I ever have. And I have more time for rest, for doing all the things that I really want to do, cook and spend time with my family and work out and all of that. But I produce more. And that's the other thing that's kind of the tricky thing with the word productive. Productive doesn't mean that you're busy, because we all like to say we're busy. That's not what productivity means. Productivity means that you produce things. So when I think about productivity, I think, what is it that I'm producing? I'm producing a meal. I'm not just saying like, I'm going to work on cooking for 3 hours. That doesn't matter if I don't actually produce a meal at the end of it that my family can eat. But a lot of times what we do is we like to say we're working on something instead of this is what I'm going to produce. And so for me, what I have realized about my own productivity is I produce way more than I ever have, but I also have way more downtime than I've ever had. And I think there are a few secrets to that, and we're going to talk about it so that maybe you can get some insight as to how you could shift this in yourself. How many of you feel like you're like professional procrastinators? And a lot of us feel this way. And we think, well, I'm just delaying doing my taxes, or I'm just delaying working on that book that I've been wanting to work on, or I'm just delaying starting that blog or going back to school or whatever it is. But what I want to show you is that what you're delaying is not just a set of tasks. What you're delaying is the person that you're going to become when you do that thing. And when you do something that you really want to do, you set your goal like, hey, I want to write a book, or I want to start a blog, or I want to train for this new job, or I want to go back to school. Your higher brain, the part of your brain that plans and executes and has goals and has dreams, like the part of your brain that actually makes you human, is the part of your brain that wants those things. But there's another part of your brain that just wants things to be easy. Oh, don't do that right now. Let's just watch a movie. Don't do that right now. Let's just scroll Facebook. Don't do that right now. Let's go watch the comments on this post that is exploding. Raise your hand if you're guilty. And so we're often sacrificing what we want ultimately for what we want now. And what we're losing and what that's costing us is the version of ourselves that we would be if we actually got that degree, wrote that book, started that blog, whatever it is, learned how to cook. And what I see in myself is that when I stopped using procrastination as an excuse and I started kind of reverse engineering my procrastination, because here's the thing that's true about people who procrastinate. We tend to get things done. We just get it done at the end in a very short period of time, which shows us we're capable of getting a lot done in a really short period of time, right? So what I have learned to eliminate is the 3 weeks before that where you feel guilty and miserable and shameful and worried and fretting because you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, but you're just worrying about it and it's on your mind. And all of those toxic thoughts, what if you could just save yourself all those and reverse engineer your procrastination and get all that work done in a short period of time at the first of the 3 weeks, right? So this is kind of what I've trained myself to do. And here's the thing. Here's one of the major benefits of doing this. When we procrastinate and we spend a lot of time worrying about what we should be doing, oh, I should be working on this, oh my gosh, I still don't have my taxes done, oh, or whatever it is. When we spend all of our time worrying about that, that makes us feel exhausted. So a lot of times the reason we well, I'm just tired all the time, I'm just exhausted, is because our thoughts are exhausting us. And if we could change that around and reverse engineer our procrastination and get a bunch of stuff done in a short period of time, save ourselves the exhausting toxic thoughts, what's amazing about it is you're getting the same amount done. You're just saving yourself the misery. So one of the things that I think really, really helps is to recognize why you're doing it. So again, your brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So the reason you don't want to sit down and write that blog post or start that blog or write that book or learn how to cook is because it's hard. The things that you really want in life are probably kind of hard. You want to get fit and start a fitness program and go to a gym. That's not going to be easy. And your brain is going to go, don't do that. Let's watch this thing on Netflix. Don't do that. You can start that tomorrow. It's going to have a million things that would be way more fun than the boring thing that your smart brain told you wanted, right? But here is the beauty. When you actually train yourself not to do that, there is nothing, almost nothing in this world more amazing than the feeling of having accomplished something hard. When I turned my taxes in a couple of weeks ago, I cannot even tell you the joy, the lightness, the energy I felt because that huge task is done. So gratifying. There are very few things that are gratifying like that than really just getting something done. It's energizing. So recognizing that it's not because you're a bad person, it's not because you don't have self-discipline, it's not because here's what happens. We recognize we're procrastinating, and then we talk awful to ourselves about it. Well, you're so lazy. Well, you're never gonna get this done. You always just put things off. You're just the kind of person who whatever. And when we talk to ourselves like that, we have all these negative thoughts about ourselves. Guess what we do? It makes us feel crappy. And so we make ourselves feel better by not doing something hard, by doing something easy, by choosing the easy path. We procrastinate more. So recognizing this vicious cycle and saying, oh, it's just because that's what brains do. They want to get out of the hard thing and they want to do the easy thing. So recognizing it is really key, because then you can go, oh, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. But no, we're going to record this video. So I spent an hour on Sunday night putting everything on my to-do list in my calendar. So for today, one of the things that I put in my calendar is to record the teaching for next month's topic in my coaching program, which is productivity. And so when it came to today at 10:30 on my calendar, and I'm supposed to be recording a video about productivity, guess what I don't want to do? I don't want to do it. I want to do something easier. I want to catch up on the news. I want to watch a YouTube video. I want to chitty chat. I don't even love talking on the phone, but when it was almost time for me to do my video, I was like, I should call my sister. Isn't that what our brains do? Yes, it is. But I've trained myself to know that if I will take the 10 or 15 minutes that it's going to take to record that video, I am going to feel like $1,000,000. I'm going to be able to check that whole thing off my list. And it's going to energize me. And that energy is what I'm going to use to continue being productive throughout the day. And when I get to this afternoon, when it's time for me to hang out or go down to the dock or watch Netflix or whatever it is I want to do, I don't feel guilty about doing that, because I know I just got all my work done and now I can really enjoy my rest time. So what we do instead is we don't really focus and get our work done. We just feel guilty the whole time that we're not doing it. And then we don't really enjoy our rest because we feel guilty that we didn't get our stuff done. So we live in this really weird, messy middle. Instead of focused productivity and true rest, we don't have either. And so recognizing this vicious cycle and not making it mean that we're lazy, that we don't have self-discipline or whatever. Making it mean, oh, there goes my brain trying to get out of work again. Interesting. No, get to work, brain. Here's what your job is for the next 20 minutes. So because I'm going out of town on Thursday, I have like 3 full days, like back-to-back tasks. This morning, by the way, my task this morning at 5:30 in the morning, from 5:30 to 6:30, was to pay bills. And I had a stack of them like this. You know what I did not want to do with all my heart at 5:30 this morning? Yeah, but I just dove in because I've trained myself to recognize when my brain is trying to get out of something and go, I hear you. I know you don't want to do it. But I also have done it enough where I know that I'm going to get that job done in about 45 minutes and I'm going to feel like $1,000,000 because now I can go out of town. Nothing's hanging over my head. Everything's been paid. Didn't take as long as I, dreaded that it would. And then I feel energized. I was like ready to go to the gym. Like, yes, all the bills are paid. I'm ready to go to the gym. And so when you train yourself to do it, it's very energizing. So recognize the cycle and redecide what it means. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're not self-disciplined. It means you have a human brain, and your human brain wants to do things that are easy, that don't require much energy. But if you spend your life doing that, you're going to have a life that doesn't look like the life you actually want. So decide the life you actually want ahead of time and put those things in your calendar. And when it comes time to do it, you just train yourself to do it, and you don't talk to yourself ugly about, oh, you're so lazy, you never get things done. No, you just go, oh, there my brain goes again trying to get out of its work. So those 2 things are really important. The third thing I think is the key, because this is how you're going to reverse engineer it. So I wanted to be able to get really 2 weeks worth of work done in 3 days. So I want to be able to get all my work done for this week before I head out of town, and quite a bit of work done from the next week. Now, I was planning all of this on Sunday night, and this is going to mean that my work is done way early, right? And it would be easy to go, oh, I'll just wait till Wednesday. I'll just work like crazy on Wednesday. Well, here's what I've done I started putting things in my calendar, everything I needed to get done before I left out of town. And I loaded it really heavy on Monday and Tuesday. So you guys, by the time I get through this afternoon, when my work day is finished this afternoon, I'm going to have 90% of it done and a whole day left. So that's what I mean by reverse engineering it. Don't, take the time that you have, whatever your deadline is on something, reverse it. Use that power to get 90% of it done in the first part of the week, in the first part of the day, in the first part of the month. And then you have time to tweak it or figure it out. So tomorrow, I have all these big gaps in my schedule. I'm like, this is so exciting. I'm sure I'll find things to fill them up. But what if I got to tomorrow and I so had all my work done that I could just enjoy the day before I leave for vacation instead of being totally stressed out? Now, I've worked my fanny off yesterday and today. Worked my fanny off. But it's so energizing to get things done, to check it off my list, and to not buy into your brain's plea for procrastination. Just wait a little while. You have a whole nother day left. Of course, my brain is trying to tell me that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to get 90% of this done Monday and Tuesday, and then we've got plenty of time for whatever comes up or whatever is left over on Wednesday. So I hope that helps you make some changes so that you can start getting the things you want done instead of just being reactive and letting your brain, that part of your brain is like a 2-year-old that wants its way. It just wants to do what it wants to do when it wants to do it. Well, the thing about it is, that's the reason why people will say, these are my priorities. Here's what I really prioritize in my life. But then when you look at how they actually spend their time, it's not the same. I want you to get to the point where you can say, this is what I prioritize. And when I look at my actual calendar and the way I spend my actual time, it reflects the priorities that I have. I'm not trying to make you a workaholic. I'm trying to make you enjoy the focused productivity and also enjoy the rest, the relaxation, enjoy both versus living kind of halfway guilty in some kind of in-between state where you don't really enjoy your productive focus time and you don't enjoy your rest time because you're always thinking about the other, right? So I hope that helps you. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day. So good to see you today. I love you. Thank you for joining today. See you soon. Bye.